Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Roger. How the hell are you doing?
Busy like you. Busy. We came in late tonight. You know why?
We came in late because, unfortunately, we don't have Ross tonight, our great producer, and I was running late. And basically, we had a bunch of show stuff to figure out, and I'm awful. Ross, please come back, please.
Oh, smoked. But we're here. We're live. We got it together, and we got a great guest tonight. Repeat guest. Um,
Great guest.
yeah, great guest. Great show. Some good stuff coming ahead. So, how you been, Andy? How you been doing?
It's been a whirlwind of a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. You wait.
Here by 10 o'clock. And obviously, I failed on that account, but I am here and we're going to have a great show. I'm so excited. Jessica weighs in that she thought Jacob Roach was in charge of the show start time. Very funny. Jacob sometimes a little loose with the start time. We like to be on time, but today, we did
Today
not
this
do
is
a
the
very good
first
job.
time we've been late. And almost a year we've been doing this, Andy. How about
It'll
that?
be a year next week, but who cares about that? Let's bring on the great Dan.
Dan.
Dan, how you doing?
What's up, guys?
So Dan's audio still isn't working, but we have him piped through the phone, so hopefully you can hear him. If you can't, he really doesn't have anything interesting to say anyway, so not a big deal.
You're right. Yeah, we need boss back. I need to figure out my audio for the restream because it ain't working.
Dan, what'd you think about
all
the
that good stuff?
what'd you think about the final 53-man roster?
Yeah.
It was all right. I'm surprised they picked up that quarterback. I don't know. Like, I'm good with it.
Wow.
And honestly, like, I don't know, like, how good
There you
is
go. Then.
Watson going to be when he comes back.
I mean, there's so many shows.
It's only 2 years before he took a snap in a regular season game. How good is he going to be? He just dished out all that money for that quarterback.
Wow, you are just shitting on the Browns organization. Coming hard tonight.
Dan.
Well, it's gonna be 2 years. Like, how are you gonna let somebody sit 2 years?
Let's ask Ed in Columbus that question. The great Ed in Columbus is back, everybody.
You know, I'm going to chug on Ed in Columbus. And you know what they always say? Better late than never. That doesn't apply unless I'm coming back because we saw last week's show. No offense, but I had actually had rodents jumping at my car because they saw last week's show and they wanted to end their life. So shout out to last week's guest. Dan, I think it was better last week because I don't think you spoke as much as you did now. People actually trying to listen to what you have to say. It's nonsense. People don't waste your time. It's only going to make you dumber if you actually hear what he's actually saying. And Roger, it's always great to see you. You are my favorite. Kelly says best, says hi. And Andy, let's chug just because it's only going to become shittier after this. So,
all right. Let's chug.
Hold on a minute.
All I have is Gatorade right now because I'm failing today.
Well, you know what, Andy, I will say this. I'm glad to be back. And all kidding aside, we're going to move forward, have some fun, and do it the right way. So let's go.
All right, but what do you have to say about Dan criticizing the fact that we think we can get a guy who hasn't even played in 2 years to come back?
Well, here's the thing. It's like if he's an elite quarterback, 2-year stretch, I understand his concerns. Actually, that's a legitimate concern from a person of his intelligence. I'll give him no credit, but he's right. 2 years, maybe a little rust. But here's the thing. He comes back, plays 5 games, whether we make the playoffs or not. I still like that he's playing. I don't really people talk about the cap moving and the money moving around. Who cares? It's not my money anyways. I want Watson to come back. Hope the Browns will be like around 500, have him come back for the final 5 games, and let's just see what happens. And maybe he's got some rust to knock off. But guess what? Going into next year, we'll know what we have. And I think as a Browns fan, that's all we want is hope moving forward. And so I definitely don't agree with anything mostly Dan says. But, a little rust to begin with. But we'll see what happens.
Ooh, you guys are coming at each other hard.
I didn't actually hear what he said. I don't really care for anybody to repeat that, so I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, All right.
Thank you, Dan.
We're gonna say
Thank you.
goodbye to Dan because
Bye, Dan.
good job, Dan. You're the best.
Thank you.
I'm gonna end the call.
It's like going through like a Church's Chicken drive-through. It's like the only one left in Akron. That's how their speaker sounds. It's like with Dan.
No, I give him credit, Andy. I got to give Dan credit because actually I did kind of hear what he had to say, and you know what? That's fine. I didn't expect anything more, nothing less from him, and actually, you know what? Hey, it was good stuff. So Dan, you actually brought it tonight, and we'll see you on the flip side, Hornmouth.
Well, we're appreciative that you're back, Ed. It wasn't the same without you. So glad
Oh, it
you're
definitely was.
back
Definitely much better. Thank you. Thank you. The audience is going to be thanking you too.
All right. Well, does everyone have the order of our Dawg Chug update, by the way?
Yes.
So.
All right. Well, let's get to the Dawg Chug update because the fans of ours need to hear what's going on in the NFL. So let's go. Roger, I think you're going to get us started.
Yeah, I do. Andy, this comes from the Bills preseason sideline reporter Cynthia Freeland described an interaction she had earlier this week with Panthers quarterback Baker Mayfield concerning the Week 1 matchup versus the Cleveland Browns. She then quoted Mayfield saying, "I'm going to fuck them up." Now all of Browns Twitter suddenly can't stop talking about Cynthia. A Dawg Chug correspondent was also present and can report that Mayfield also added that even if Myles Garrett met him in the backfield, Garrett would not be able to pull Mayfield down. And I quote Andy, he said, with those flimsy arms of his. And then he said, "I'm going to rip that pube stash off his mouth."
Oh, wow. I can't believe the media didn't report on that. That's insane.
And she's blowing up on Browns Twitter.
In addition, the Browns, who have a long history of losing Week 1 matchups, they're set to take on Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers. To say that Cleveland fan base is more polarized than ever before and set to turn into a giant shit show like we've never seen if we lose that game is an understatement. And I'm here to say that if we do in fact lose that game, I am deactivating my Twitter account longer than Ed in Columbus did. Wow. Roger, why don't you go to your next one, which is...
I have... it's your 2022 Cleveland Browns 53-man roster has been set. And the Browns have kept all of their draft picks they've selected through the first 3 drafts of this regime. Mr. Barry, you clearly... Hold on a second.
Hello. Hello, Roger. No. You shouldn't have done that.
Stupid pet tricks right in the middle of the update. Mr. Barry, you clearly have some impressive guardrails that you believe in, but the Dawg Chug strongly suggests you add a new one to the Browns guardrails. And amendment number 1 is automatically cut at least 1 draft pick from your 3 most recent classes, or Twitter warriors and Grossio decide you're an egomaniac and begin calling for your head and that you got to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Deshaun Watson has officially started his 11-week suspension yesterday, and he's set to come back to the field in 95 days. When asked what he'd been doing during his time off, Watson responded, "I'm going to do a lot of therapy and really contemplate how my actions affected those people. Even though I did absolutely nothing wrong and those women were coming after my money and lied and should be behind bars." Ed, give them a last story here.
I don't know if I can top that one, but that roster that Roger talks about, the Browns 53-man roster, officially makes them the youngest in the league, joining the Guardians in Major League Baseball and the Cavs in the NBA. Some believe this is a sign that analytics believe the best way to grow sustained success by focusing on youth. But in reality, it's a last-ditch effort to stem Cleveland's alarmingly low birth rate by having hundreds of young athletes slide into the DMs of Molly Rose and Yvette.
Ooh. Wow.
Shout out to Molly Rose and Yvette, by the way. Shout out.
Yes, they're the best. We actually went to them and said, "Hey, do you mind if we say this horrible thing about you?" And they both said, "Game on, it's funny." So
I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's horrible.
Anyway, it is a little bit.
It just means they're nice people.
So that is the Dawg Chug update. Sorry, we didn't have the pictures today, but like I said, today was a little bit of a whirlwind.
Banner day.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off my game.
All right. So important show news. We did have a auction to determine who was going to sit next to me and Roger for the big Jets game.
Yeah.
We asked all the Dawg Chuggers to go ahead and submit their bids, and wow, did we get a shockingly lot of bids. A lot of people apparently want to sit with me and Roger, and we're here to announce the winner. We're here to determine who is going to get to watch me and Roger get very inebriated and watch a loss to the New York Jets. So it is going to be the great Brandon Bissell. You are the winner. And
All
now
right,
you
Brandon.
game.
I mean, winner for going to the game, but it just depends. If,
Hey, now he's gonna have a lot of fun, and I mean,
Okay.
I gave him parking directions for training camp in the chat. He was like gonna park. I was like, "Hey man, go to West Third, go to the rec center," and he found it. So I can't wait to meet him and drink with him. And
he seems like a good dude. I like Brandon.
yeah, man, yeah. I'm excited.
Brandon, we're looking forward to it. And Papa, once we get our hands on the money, because he doesn't get the ticket until we have the money, we're gonna PayPal it right to you, or however you need us to get it to you. So everyone's a winner at the Dawg Chug.
Well, shout out to Papa Mick, great Ohio State Buckeyes fan and a warrior for the Scarlet and Gray. So shout out to you, Papa.
Anyway, everyone's a winner on the Dawg Chug, except Jess, who did in fact lose last week. So, all right, I think it is time to bring on our featured guest. He's coming back for his second appearance on the Dawg Chug. You all know him on Twitter. He's out there shaking it up, having some fun. The great, wonderful Tony. How's it going, Tony?
What's up? Just speaking of Cleveland Twitter, official verified king according to DS Sports is back. What is up, Edgar? How's it been?
It's been wonderful, Tony. Nice to see you.
Hey, Tony, what's going on, man? It's good to see you again. I saw you in the. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ed, you were talking about the birth rate in Cleveland. I just want to say off the record, you may have missed a couple mentioned, but.
Oh, that's fair.
Is anyone else kind of having Tony's audio quality kind of dipping in and out, or is that just my? You guys experiencing that?
A little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's a little choppy, but I'm picking him up a little. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it gets bad, maybe we could try shutting and coming back in. But let's
We
carry.
don't have Ross. We don't have Ross, so we apologize.
Let me read
everything. Everything's a little shitty when Ross isn't here.
Yeah. You might have to exit the
obviously,
stream and come back in.
We got to talk about is everyone knows Tony is a huge Notre Dame fan, and of course we've got the big Ohio State Notre Dame game. Tony, who is going to win that game and why?
I want to say Notre Dame, but I honestly think the Buckeyes will beat them. As much as that hurts me, State's going to win that game.
Okay, Tony, I got a question for you. 17.5-point spread, and I know that upset your coach. Do you think the Buckeyes cover the spread?
No, I don't.
No.
Spread. I think it's going to be.
Okay, I think we should probably try and log back in because I feel like we're missing too many of your amazing thoughts here.
Yeah, you're
great. Like Dan. Nobody wants to sound like Dan. So
don't be a Dan. Don't be a Dan.
I could do my top 10 while he's gone.
Oh, I forgot you had a top 10. Okay. Yeah, Tony, why don't you try shutting down the browser and logging back in and see if that clears it up.
All right, I got you.
Awesome. All right. Well, Roger, you had a top 10. We usually throw those.
Want me to do it? Yeah, it's going to take him a minute, huh? Better than us sitting here gabbing. I did. You know why? I was affected this last week, and these are the top 10 ways that I was affected without Ed and Columbus on Twitter, Andy. These are the things that I went through while Ed was gone. Number 10. I have not used one Donald Trump meme, and they're my favorite. So since
the dancing one, I love the dancing one. You know,
I haven't done one since you. Number 9, I recorded all the Break Ed news on a loop, and I listen to them as I fall asleep.
There's no way you can fall asleep with that.
Number 8, I replaced all the pronoun in Lionel Richie's hello with Ed's name. Number 7, I dressed up in a shirt and tie, and I made dance videos, and I made my 2-year-old son Henry watch them.
Well, the boy's just lucky. Boy's a
Number-
lucky boy.
Roger, is your son okay?
He's going to be okay. He's going to be all right.
You might want to get him checked out.
Number 6, I listened to Sarah McLachlan while driving.
I like Sarah McLachlan. I love building a mystery.
I do too. I do.
I love Sarah McLachlan.
Number 5, even Nick Karn tweets didn't have the same pizzazz for me while I was gone.
That you were affected that much?
They didn't do it for me. Number 4, I began yelling random JOK as AOK lyrics in the grocery store by the meat counter.
Wow.
I admit, yeah. Number 3 is the Columbus police do have my information because I was circling his block and somebody called on me. So it's good. Number 2, I started drinking Mountain Dew and vodka.
Wow. How'd that go?
And the number one reason, or the number one way I was affected why Ed in Columbus was gone from Twitter, it's so hard to love you some Ed when there is no Ed.
That is true.
That breaks my heart, Roger. That breaks my heart.
Wow. Well, Ed is back for now anyway.
Tony, I'm glad you came back for the end there. You got.
Yeah, that's a bit better now.
I miss my boy Ed. I said it every day. I missed Ed while he was gone. I'm glad he's back.
You got an ugly hat on though, Roger, by the way.
Go blue, baby. Blue. Hey. Yeah, I don't think ND is gonna win. Hey, Tony, you got let's see if he's got some audio. Ooh.
That might be a little rough.
Here.
You want me to do another top 10?
How about
Whee! I got the time.
if it's like a phone thing or
That's a little better.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? If we just pause, you have a natural pause about 20 seconds.
Why don't you try shutting down your device and coming back up? I think Gator had the same problem.
Is that a laptop or a phone?
I am on my phone, so I'm trying to like.
That's what happens with mine. You have to be on a laptop, basically.
Oh, really?
It's restream.
Any better now?
It's
a little better.
It's pretty much.
I feel like the Geek Squad right now.
Yeah.
It's very. There's a little bit of a pause.
No, seriously, Andy. This is why I was talking to you about this.
You got to do it on a laptop.
Desk here.
Is there another?
You have to do restream on a laptop.
We need to get a new streaming service. This is garbage, and it's terrible because you came on before and it was great.
Yeah.
I used to use my phone. Look, I used to use it. Now I'm on a laptop because of restream. It just started maybe a month ago.
Hey, by year 2, we'll have all this stuff ironed out. Don't worry about it.
He sounded like he was going to be intelligent tonight too.
Well, we can.
Ooh, Dan. I know.
No, Dan's never going to sound. Dan's never going to be intelligent.
I couldn't hear a word he was saying.
No, Tony. I mean, Tony's a good guest, and you know what? Shout out to Tony. And this is
sad, because he said
technology, but it got me. The phone thing got me as well. So Tony, it got me as well. So I get it.
Okay, he's going to get on his laptop and it'll be back on, so we're going to be okay.
Oh, then it'll work. It'll be fine then. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So obviously the big controversy today was cutting the lineman for the quarterback.
That was disaster.
And the problem is all these other podcasts that would have had a lot to say about that. Unfortunately, it happened today when they're not on. Now we're on, so I think we should say something about it. So, Ed, what do you think? Is it?
I think that we made. I think Isaac Rochelle. I think you know what? When it comes to tweeting, A+ on Twitter. He puts out some bangers. He put out some bangers the last couple of days, and shout out to him even tonight after the disappointment and everything that he's been going through. Bangers on Twitter. So I'm pro Isaac Rochelle and this Kellen Mond. I saw him play at Texas A&M. I always think of a quarterback named Johnny Manziel coming from A&M, and Kellen Mond. I don't know. I watched him play. He wasn't that special to me. And you know what? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? In the best of this scenario, become the number 2 next year, or when Watson comes back, he outplays plays Dobbs. I mean, what are we arguing about here? Like, if defensive line was such an area of concern, and maybe they're planning to do something with there, but it seems like you lost an asset when you did what you did today. So you must have more faith in Kellen Mond. Or maybe one of your scouts know his father, and maybe he knows somebody. Who knows? I don't know who the case may be. I mean, let's be real. And good for you if you're on the squad because of that. But I just hope that you do, because he's obviously, he's young, and who's to say he doesn't become, a solid backup and maybe even better than Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs had some good preseason games, but he never really started the NFL. We don't know what he really is. So maybe they like him. So I don't know. But I don't like the move. I think we lost an asset by doing it because of it. So you better hope he.
So you said a lot. I think you argued for both sides there a little bit.
Well, I like the Cleveland Browns, and I think Andrew Berry, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. But I would say at this point, it kind of is a questionable move. I think it's questionable.
Okay, fair enough. But is it a questionable move if we get Rochelle on the practice squad and then we elevate him week 3?
Well, maybe that's what they think. I don't know. One thing about they always got something going. I give just like the Guardians front office, even the Cavs. Cleveland's got we got not only do we got young teams in Cleveland, but we got front offices that are young and kind of progressive when it comes to making moves and doing different things. So who's to say there's not a bigger plan, and we'll see what happens. So I think they've earned that benefit of the doubt when it comes to. I
think I saw a lot of overreaction today.
That's Twitter. That's fun
for a player that's probably going to be a member of the Cleveland Brown this season, and then we'll get to determine what we do with them in the future. So I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, if he gets picked up by another team, then we could sort of criticize the move. But that hasn't happened yet. So everyone on Twitter needs to calm down, which I know is like the best thing people do. Roger, what do you think about all this?
What were we talking about?
No, why don't you just sip?
We're there yet?
On that? No, I saw some of it today, and people that you know what the root of it is. You know what's going on, Andy, and why this reaction is, and this because we have 355 billion fucking GMs that just drafted fantasy teams, and they think that they know everything about football, and they're going to criticize every little move that every team makes, and they're going to. I scroll past it and people are arguing, and I'm like, what are we arguing about here? Like Ed said, what are we arguing about here? If it's September 9th and we're getting ready for day 2, and, because everybody's saying we got so many different holes to fill and we need to have different needs. And
we're probably arguing because it feels like this season should be right around the corner, but it's in like 2 weeks. It's kind of annoying.
There's still 2, yeah.
I like Todd.
We got Labor Day. We got the Buckeyes.
What's that?
You guys hate Buckeyes in Cleveland. I don't know why.
We don't.
Yeah, no, I've had this discussion. This is a good discussion, maybe even with Tony. But there's, for Ohio State actually kind of carrying the torch when it comes to winning in the state of Ohio, because let's be real, 2016 Cavs, okay, and in Cincinnati they haven't done anything since 1990 with the Reds. And so it comes down to Ohio State, and it doesn't seem like I get the love from Ohio State. I always thought Ohio State's the 4th team in Cleveland. You got obviously the Guardians, Cavs, and Browns, but sometimes I get some not as much love. Like there's some hate sometimes. I don't understand it.
I don't understand how you're saying that. This entire city sometimes loves Ohio State more than the Browns.
Well, they should. But here's the thing. I just think in Cleveland, I understand Browns come first. And I'm from Cleveland, birth certificate, Cleveland, Ohio. I actually do love the Browns more than the Buckeyes, and I'm a graduate of Ohio State. So when it comes down to it, Browns are my number one. I think all Clevelanders should have them mentioned number one. I just don't understand some of the hate. I feel like some of the maybe because that's to do with Notre Dame. Tony's a Notre Dame guy. You got the Catholic contingent. There's some just like in Cincinnati. I just wonder sometimes. I just question you guys.
And Eric does weigh in that the Buckeyes get to pick their opponents. So a little bit of controversy. How do you answer those claims?
Well, they do. That's what winning schools do. Alabama does the same thing. I mean, they all do. So Ohio State's not supposed to do what it. It's just like when you got politicians going after each other about like taxes and stuff like that. If you're taking advantage of the tax code, then you're just taking advantage, just like Ohio State takes advantage of it. Yeah, I can see where it's unfair to some, but whatever. Hey, we're the top dog. Money, money, money. I love it. We're the Yankees. We're the Yankees of the college football. And as being a Cleveland fan, Andy, would you argue this? Look, some of my arrogance and stuff, like being an Ohio State fan, and maybe the arrogance that people see from Ohio State fans comes from.
Arrogant?
No, but I perceived as it. I hear the vibes in the streets. So here's the thing: we win, and it's like as being a Cleveland fan, where we don't win, it's kind of nice that my team is like the Yankees, where maybe we're not going to win every year, but we have the resources, the money, the power to make it happen, and I shouldn't have to apologize for that. That's how I feel.
What about the claim that ranked teams should play ranked teams? Let's make the best play the best.
Okay. I think Ohio State will win. Okay, we'll play that game. Okay, sure. I
And
don't
you
have
just
a
got
problem.
called out. Oops, that your Ohio State fans are arrogant like Steeler fans,
Well,
and I
you know,
agree.
I hate to say this, Cleveland fans, because I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, but I want to say this. I know this might be controversial. The Steelers have 6 Super Bowl rings. Okay, they have some. They're allowed to be arrogant. Okay, like seriously, we got
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
We
but
haven't even
but
been
but
there. Like, let me register. Like, I don't know why. I mean, come on. It's like Ohio State apologizing to Michigan. We actually have national championships in from 2000 on. You guys have a 1997 split title with Nebraska, and Nebraska would have kicked your ass that year.
I think we went from having no ed to getting too much ed. We gotta
I'm so-
figure out. Tony,
hey,
please.
hey, you know what? I'm all caught up on my
All right.
head now. My top 10.
Yeah.
I'm all caught up.
All right, I'll be fine.
I'm good.
Can y'all hear me better now?
I'm good.
Yes,
Can y'all hear me better now? Okay.
significantly better.
Yeah, just my laptop was giving me troubles last time, so I did the phone, and now the phone's giving me troubles. All right, I'm glad we got it all figured out.
It's always a shit show on the Dawg Chug. That's what our audience expects, and thank you for delivering.
I expect
So,
nothing
back
less,
to-
less from anything
There
else
you go.
involved with.
There you go. I can hear you. Hey, welcome to the Dawg Chug. Our guest, Tony.
Yes. Tony, will you make a bet with me about the covering the spread? What is it, 17.5 right now?
I think 17.
Yeah,
something, that's
17
what it was. I can look.
and a
I
half.
know you said it's going to be closer than that, so I think that the Ohio State's going to destroy Notre Dame.
Me too.
So why don't we make a bet? And next week,
That works.
whoever loses, you can come on and we could do something funny, like chug 3 beers or I don't know, whatever. What do you think would be good? It's really
I'm trying to think of something. I mean, I could post a video on Twitter of me chugging a twisted tea. I don't know if I'd want to do it on live show.
That's
Okay.
fair. As long as you do it. As long as he
Yeah.
does it,
That's
that's
fair.
fair. That's good.
I'm going to be kind of staying downtown this weekend. I'm finally getting the pass to be able to go live life again. So I'm going to be gambling. I'm going to be having fun. It's going to be a great weekend. So I will be in position to do some crazy chug. So we'll figure out the stakes. But yeah, look for that on when do we place? Is it Saturday at what time?
Saturday,
7:30.
7:30.
7:30. Okay, we'll look for that video after the big game. And
All right, we'll figure
maybe-
something out.
okay, how about if Notre Dame wins, you have to watch Rudy for 7 days.
Ooh, I'd rather drink.
What are you saying? Rudy's a bad movie?
Oh, after the one or two, I don't know. It's a great movie.
I
but-
love
I'm a Notre-
Rudy.
I'm
I've
a
seen
Notre Dame
Rudy
fan.
a
I don't
million
even-
times.
The movie. So
yeah, thank you. 7 times in a row. Whoa.
Did you watch the Monte Teo documentary on Netflix, Tony?
I have not watched it yet. I need to.
Yeah,
I have
it's
not
really, really
gotten
good.
to it yet.
Anyway, you should check it out. Everyone, all of our audience, check it out. It's like almost as good as an episode of the Dawg Chug. All right.
Almost.
Why don't we get this game moving? Right, we'll get right to Spit Sip Chug. Before we do that, Roger, vamp for a second. I gotta go find some beer. Jesus, I am way just.
You know, he used to do this to me when we started, and I'd sit here and I'd look like the guy in Scanners when his head explodes because I wouldn't know what to do. And then, like, I started writing it, and all of a sudden I started writing, like, notes that, like, I had things to talk about when he got up and walked away, and then he stopped doing it. But he would do it, and he'd be gone for, like, 10 minutes, and I'm, like, live on there. Ed, it was rough in the beginning.
You know, there's moments where it's still rough now. I mean, some could argue that this show might be more on the rougher side.
We got, you know what, man? Yeah, it was like without Ross, I'm lost without Ross. Ross the sock boss. I'm lost.
Okay, I'm back.
Andy's back.
My
Hey, we didn't talk about
Thomas
shit.
beer there. Look at that.
I got. What are
Beautiful.
you guys drinking? I got a Muni. I got a platform brewery,
Platform,
west side of
wow.
Cleveland, my neighborhood, right up the
We're
street from where I
deciding
grew
if
up.
we're going to be pro platform or not. We'll get we'll figure that out pretty soon. But right now, I got a good Joe Thomas beer. He might be a little overrated according to one of my friends, but I love the guy. So, cheers. Anyway. Let's go to Spit Sip Chug. Tony, you've played this before, but for all the audience that hasn't seen, I'm going to make a statement. If you agree with it, you're going to chug and explain why. If you're tepid on your answer, you're going to sip. And if you strongly disagree, you're going to spit right on my floor. It's disgusting. We don't have any ladies today, though, so we can do it. So let's get started. First question, Spit Sip Chug. And Roger, we're going to start with you.
Great.
So get ready to sip.
I can't wait.
Okay. The majority of the Cleveland fan base won't be able to recover from a week 1 loss this season.
Ooh. You know what? I am going to sip on that.
Shocker.
Tradition was what made Dawg Chug great, Andy. Now I'm sipping on that because, man, I don't think that I don't think that he stands a chance in hell against our defense. So it probably should have been a spit if I was going to go that way. But I sip, and then I usually my answer or my isn't really a sip at all. It's either a chug or a spit. But I sip anyway. How about that?
This has been the strongest Dawg Chug episode we've ever had. Thank you for that answer. I think we just had Dan on again. Ed?
Ross.
I mean, Browns fans, I can understand why you're going to say sip because they're still going to come back to the Browns and talk about the Jets and still be just as enthused. But I'll tell you, just personally, I'm chugging on that. I'm losing my shit. I'm losing my shit if we lose to Baker, man. You know, because look, I know people think I hate Baker, and that's fine. I make jokes about Baker. He comes up short. It's so easy. I mean, my God, you're allowed to joke. It's entertainment. I know people take it personally. Like, I know he got us a playoff win. Okay, it's fine. That's what he's supposed to do. He was number 1 pick overall. I mean, come on. I mean, he's not like.
I want Joe Woods fired if Baker Mayfield beats the Cleveland Browns. I want Joe Woods.
Like so I got to chug. So chugging on this one. Let's lose our shit though, and if we're gonna lose.
All right. So for me personally, this fan base is so unhinged right now. We're so polarized. If Baker Mayfield wins that game, apathy is going to set in for the majority of the fan base. There will still be the Max, the Jacob Roaches, and the Nick Carnes, but the majority of Cleveland Twitter will just be like punt on this season and be thinking about next season. So I am absolutely chugging on this one. The Browns will be able to recover from it, but the fan base will not. Tony?
Tony's chugging.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you, Tony.
Oh, no. I'll translate.
I think he's saying Browns fans are little bitches and they'll whine, they'll complain if Baker wins. I like Roger's answer. The Browns won't lose, so that's my answer. The question wasn't will the Browns win or lose, it was if they lose.
I know if they lose. If they lose, yes, definitely. I mean, if they're, like you said, they're unhinged. Browns Twitter, people are nuts, man. They're nuts.
Eric says, if the Baker rolls the Browns like a blunt, we will continue to be a national joke. And oh my gosh, can you imagine the national press coverage if we lose that game? Oh, it's going to be ugly.
Andy, yeah, I can't even. I don't even want to think about it.
All right,
There's
Tony.
no way Joe Woods yeah.
Is your audio back on?
Well, Andy, that kind of blunt that he speaks of, if the Browns get rolled like if Baker rolls them like a blunt, you'd have to choke on that one because that'd be a choker.
Gosh, Dan, stop calling me. I'm not answering. We're in the middle of a show. It's unprofessional.
You should answer.
Should have answered it.
I would have answered.
I would have answered
Can't
it.
call me.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, have you resolved your issues? True.
He thinks he has. Oh.
He's not. All right, well, you chugged. We saw that you chugged. Eric
He did chug.
That the Dawg Chug is hilarious. That is true. You can't imagine how a show could be this bad.
Eric just said we're hilarious.
Anyone that
argues,
if anyone argues with that in the comments, I will drink a beer with you at the Muni. So
I'll drink with him. Just mention my name. I don't care good or bad. I'll drink with you. I'm an attention whore.
All right, we're going to move on to statement number 2. Jacoby Brissett can lead this team for 11 games. Ed?
Okay. I figured you weren't going to Tony, so let's see here. I am going to. Of course, I'm chugging that.
Wow.
Of course he can. Now, here's the thing with him. I mean, if he gets us to 6-5, I mean, I don't know. I think he's done his job then. I think we're going to be, I don't know. And you look at that first 4 games, so I'm definitely chugging on that. So let's go. Let's roll.
All right.
There'll be times that it's ugly, though. Andy, I ain't going to lie. There's going to be times that it's pretty ugly.
Yeah. My answer on this is simple. Of course, all I'm looking for is 6-5. And if we accomplish that, it is going to be because the defense and the running game let us
Yes.
do that
Yes.
6-5 record, not because Jacoby was getting into.
And Cade York makes some field goals. Cade York better
Yes.
make some field goals.
Cade York getting field goals, not because he was scoring touchdowns left and right. So I am going to spit on this one.
Whoa. That's disgusting. That's very disgusting.
That was really gross. Tony, do you want to? I don't know. Do you want to?
I'll go, and if Tony gets it straightened
All right,
out.
you go, Roger.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to sip on this.
Imagine that.
That's shocking.
It wasn't a Guardians question. That's why.
I'm going to sip on this because I'll tell you why. Can implies ability. Does Jacoby Brissett have the ability to lead a team over this course of 11 games? Physically, as a quarterback, no, he does not. But he can lead this team as a leader, and what it's going to depend on is defense. If our defense shows up and it's going to be creating turnovers, field possession games, field goals, like Ed said, and it's going to be managing game. What Jacoby Brissett can do is not lose football games for you, like sitting and watching Green Bay on Christmas Eve. You had 52 guys out there that wanted to win a football game, and you had one guy, all he had to do was not lose it. And that's where I jumped off that ship is during that
I
game.
forget, Roger. Who was that
Jacoby
guy?
Brissett will not lose football games, but can he win them for you? No, he can't do it by himself. But he can lead them as a team. So I'm
everyone at home, of course, whenever Roger mentions Baker Mayfield losing the Green Bay game, we all take a drink. So everyone in the audience, please.
Everybody, whatever. Because I was the biggest Mayfield hump that there was, and I was.
He personally said, "I'm going to ruin Roger's Christmas." That's what I heard.
He
That
did.
was
He
word on
ruined
the
my
street.
fucking Christmas,
Personally.
that little son of a bitch.
Okay. Well, Tony, do you want to show us if you're spitting or chugging on this one, or are you still trying to figure out your audio issues? He is chugging. So
chugging. All right.
And lead us.
Hey, tell him to put it in. I'll read it. Tell him to DM me, and I'll read it.
Type it in the private chat.
DM me your responses to that. There you go. There we go. Hey, go ahead and go move on. Yeah.
And why don't you do one drink one time for every win you think Jacoby's going to lead us to? So
okay.
All right. Eric says Stefanski got his playbook from Bishop Sycamore.
Ooh, yeah.
That's Columbus.
Columbus'
finest high school.
I know a guy that went to high school there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I got Tony's response.
Okay.
Brissett's going to get us to 6-5.
I love it.
And,
if we're at 6-5, we have a chance.
He also said he loves the movie Rudy, and the part when his buddy dies breaks his heart.
And I heard he also said, Ed, chill out. Shut the fuck up, man. And I totally applaud that message. We're getting too much.
That's just what you wanted to say, Andy. Why didn't you just say it came from you? I
didn't say it. Tony said it. I'm just
so
reading
you do
what
with Baby Man. You do that with Baby Manch, too.
Yeah. You think Baby Manch doesn't like me? Thinks about Ed and Columbus. All right, let's move on to statement number 3. I'm going to start this one. The Browns need to run Chubb into the ground like Tennessee does with Derrick Henry. I know Lima has been on a crusade about this one. And you know what? We absolutely need to run the ball more. The Browns need to, for these 11 games, we need to run the ball a lot. But we have a great running group. We just need to split carries. You know when Chubb is his most effective? When Kareem Hunt is coming in and spelling him and he's fresh in the fourth quarter and great things happen. So no, I do not want to give Chubb like 50 carries while we have these other 3 amazing backs and they get none. That's stupid. So I'm spitting on this one.
Disgusting.
All right. Tony's obviously sending his answer over to Roger, but are you chugging? Are you sipping? Or are you spitting? That looks like a sip.
Tony, you can trust me this time, Goomba. I got you this time. I won't add anything. With the running backs we have, Chubb will still take the majority of the carries, but he won't be running into the ground.
Wow. And he also said that Ed in Columbus has gay sex. Whoa. That's
Whoa. Hey.
Wow. It's crazy.
We love Ed in Columbus.
Thank
Loves
you for
everybody.
coming to the Dawg Chug tonight.
All right, Roger, how are you answering this one?
I forget the question now after that.
All right, should we run? No.
Oh, the Tony Lima, the Anthony Lima thing. I was driving, and I have been driving an hour and 10 minutes every day to these jobs we have in Painesville and Madison, and I get to listen to more of Lima and Carmen in the morning, and I heard them talking, and I'm thinking, and you know what? On the way home, Nick Wilson's talking about Lima, and why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you run Nick Chubb into the ground? You know what I mean? He's like Andy. Didn't you say he's fresh in the fourth quarter? If Kareem Hunt, if they can stay healthy, even play 14 of the 17 games between them, why would you do that? Why would you run them in the ground? That's insane.
So it sounds like you're saying you're gonna sip.
You know what? I'm gonna sip on that. The whole Tony thing.
You just said it's ridiculous and that they shouldn't do that. So that sounds like you're spitting.
But on the same token, I think that if you want to play, I don't know. I'm gonna sip on it anyway,
though. Okay, Ed, what do you got?
I'm sipping, and I'll be quick. I don't know. I could ramble on, but I think I'd be like Roger and forget what I'm really doing. And
the kid had he got hurt in Alabama. He had another major knee surgery here. Why would you give him the ball 35 times? It doesn't make sense.
It's a good question. I'm not ready for it right now.
we can mooch can. Yeah.
Eric asks, when can we see them in the game at the same time? That's a very good question. I hope that's something that happens. I've heard that they were practicing it. So
yeah, like having your two best players on the field at the same time, it makes no sense. I mean, come on, Stefanski. Like, come on. Like, it's,
All right. Well, let's go to our last. No, I have two more statements on Spit Sip Chug.
My cat's ass is on.
Hey now.
Hey, the Dawg Chug is the cat's ass.
Yeah, XXX. Ooh.
Roger, this is a family show.
That is a beautiful cat, but I was not expecting that view of it.
Oh man, this is going off the rails. Okay.
Hey, you want to hear something? One of my best. I got a Roger story. One of my best friends is named Tony Timko. He sent Christmas cards out. His cat's name was Manson, Charlie Manson, and he ate tinsel, and it was hanging out of his ass. And he made Christmas cards out of it and sent to everybody he knows.
Wow. Sherry said
you got to throw that in there since we lost Tony.
Sherry said you got to get some pants for that cat.
And they have 9 lives, so you got to give them like multiple pairs of pants because they got 9 lives.
So wait, if the cat goes to its second life, you got to get it a new pair of pants. Can't wear the same pair of pants.
I just think it'd be proper. I mean, don't you think the cat's new life deserves new pants?
All right, so if the cat lives for 7 years on one life, it should wear the same pair of pants for that entire 7 years. I mean, let's get to the bottom of this.
Well, I mean, you can wash.
Because really, that's 49.
You wash them. You should wash those pairs.
7 years. That's like 49 years. He's wearing the same pants.
I don't know. I mean, sure.
Day in and day out.
Get multiple. I'm just saying you can't have one pair of pants. You got to have multiple. That's all I was just.
We went off the rails a long time ago.
I'm looking out for the cats, and Andy's trying to get out. No, I don't want to Peter come after
animal
me.
Services. If you get a cat, they're gonna knock on your door.
I want a ride or die cat. I want one on my shoulder. I want one that just only loves me.
This cat, come get this one.
Let's move on to statement number 4. Roger, we're going to start with you sipping. Kellen Mond will start a game for the Cleveland Browns this season.
Man, give that to me again, because I kind of want to sip. I don't want to sip on this.
Kellen Mond, the new quarterback we took off waivers today, he will start a game for the Cleveland Browns this season.
I'm going to chug on that. I'm going to chug on
it. That's true.
Because
it's true.
Over the course of the last 23 fucking years, how many times didn't every quarterback on our roster start a game for the Cleveland Browns? You know what I mean? So the odds are I'm going to take the odds. he'll start a game for the Cleveland Browns.
All right, Ed.
Hey,
All right,
yeah, go ahead.
To answer Eric, Garfield over Heathcliff because Garfield likes lasagna. I like Italian food. Sherry, you're right. Nope. The answer is I don't think he will. I think Jacoby Brissett and Dobbs, if Dobbs has to come in, but I don't think they'll ever get to Kellen Mond. And thank goodness. I'm just, so I'm going with that. So I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing?
All right. Well, I have a very similar answer to Roger here. Essentially, every quarterback on the Cleveland Browns is going to get tested at least once.
I know. I hate that. You're probably right.
Even though the odds of him actually playing in a game is staggeringly low, it's going to happen because whatever.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
It's going to happen with the Cleveland Browns. So, Kellen, I cannot wait to watch you suck for the Cleveland Browns. I'm excited. So I'm going to chug. All right. That was an amazing episode of cat porn, spits and chug.
Yeah, I would say so.
And
she came back to that cat. The cat came back.
Wait a minute. I have one more statement. I'm an idiot. Hold on.
Okay.
And is Roger off now? Like,
the cat came back, and it was I don't know, something's going on.
All right. Well, we'll answer this one.
Yeah, go ahead with the statement, and I'll go first.
Dawg Chug really needs Ross the sock back. Ed.
I'm chugging on that one. I mean, my God, have you seen tonight? Even I coming back can't save this thing.
Tonight has been awful. I'm also chugging. Ross, please come back. Don't ever leave us again. It's ugly without you. Roger?
Hey, did you guys miss me?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say tonight, no.
You didn't even know I was gone, did you?
Wait, where were you left? Have you missed Ross today? Do we need Ross back? The great Kelly is the best says she loves Ross.
We need Ross back so bad because tonight has been so off the rails.
All right, so
and because you're like creating the whole time, and me and Ed are chipping in, and Ross is like the one that puts it all in order.
All right, okay. So it's a clean sweep. We all chugged. Eric does ask, what is an acceptable win total for the Cleveland Browns this year? I'm going to start that off, and I'm going to say, look, we got to make the playoffs. So I think that's going to take 11 wins. I don't personally think we're going to get to 11 wins. Maybe 10 gets you in, probably not, but it's possible. I think if it's 10 or less and we don't make the playoffs, then it's a very big disappointing year. And I'll be excited for next year, but it's going to be tough. And I think Stefanski will finally be on the hot seat, which is, it's going to be ugly. Roger. How many wins do you need?
Andy, if there was anything less than 10 games, and right now they should be competing to win the division. It shouldn't even be a question, that they'll be in the playoff hunt. But here we are. I think it all hinges on the defense. So I'm going to say 10 wins is acceptable, and that's because of the hand they've been dealt, or not the hand that we've been dealt. Stefanski's been dealt, and us as fans been dealt.
Well, it might be hard, though, to get those 10 wins, because if we fire our defensive coordinator after week 1 because we lose to Baker Mayfield and we don't have a good interim option, the defense might go to shit.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But I still fire him. Fuck it. If you lose to Baker Mayfield, I'm firing him. It's up to me.
What if we
don't even come to work? You're not getting on the fucking plane.
What if we lose 3-0? They get one field goal in overtime, but our defense stops them every time, and our offense just can't score. Are you still firing him then?
Roger, it's your question, not mine. I'm not firing people. You are. Say it again. Give it to me. What?
Oh my
what?
God. Just forget it. The great Joe Stever says that we need to stop. They will make the playoffs. Defense carries them. Burn victims.
That's what I said. It hinges on the defense. If they turn in a top defense,
onto the Dawg
that's
Chug.
what he needs.
Joe is actually the person that helped name the Dawg Chug. True story.
Really? Tell the story. It's got to be better than the one I just told.
He said you should call it the Dawg Chug.
Is that how it went? Just like
that's
You guys having coffee?
I mean,
maybe an English muffin.
I like the name. So Joe, shout out to Joe. It's a great name. I do like the name.
And
Did we even have another prospect for a name?
No.
No, there was not even a yeah.
Joe's a friend of mine, and when I used to do those beer chugs last summer, he wanted.
Is this the first time he's watched?
No, he's watched before. He's
Okay. I'm just the first time. Okay. All right.
He was trying to innovate, and he said you got to do something at the end to really tie it together. So he came up with screaming Dawg Chug. Dawg Chug, roof roof.
Ask him this. Hey Joe, if you want to comment, I got a suggestion. The Dawg Chug featuring Ed in Columbus. What does he think about that suggestion?
Oh, Dog Cast was the original thought, and it was awful.
Ooh,
yes.
That sounds like you get broken bones. That's not
Dogcast was the original thought.
I get like podcast dog. I guess that's not too bad. I guess that's not too bad.
Awful.
Okay, well, I appreciate the honesty.
Poor Tony. He had so many interesting things to talk about tonight.
I know, man, and oof.
I blame Ross not being here.
It's all.
Well, I'll answer the question since
he's on a beach right now, pounding
Yeah, having fun.
Thanks,
how many wins do we need to have this
Okay,
season?
here's the thing. Acceptable. Here's the thing. I've always said this.
Hey.
I think like you, Andy, 11. But here's the thing. I think 10 could get you in the playoffs. But here's the problem with the Cleveland Browns lately is they lose to common AFC opponents. If you want to go lose to Tampa Bay, go ahead. Okay, it's NFC. You want to go lose? Stop losing to these AFC, especially in your division. You win the right amount of divisional games against your rivals, and then obviously you clean up on the rest of the AFC. 10 wins because I think. Look, I'll be real with you. I think Pittsburgh's going to be 9-8. Because Tomlin's they'll be 9-8. I think Baltimore's probably going to be 10-7. I think Cincy's either 11-6 or 10-7. And if we're 10-7 or 11-6, just like them, it's if you got to beat them, you got to beat them head to head. If you can win 2 out from Baltimore or 2 from the ones that you got to do, so I think 10 can get you in the playoffs, but 11 I think will get you in the playoffs, and I think that's my safe number.
Isn't there an extra game? The playoffs.
There was just like last year. There's 17 games. There's 17.
Yeah, right.
Games.
It's there's one bye and everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We need to win the division games. The division games are going to be.
Got to win the division.
4-2, Eric. 4-2 division record. I'm going to say 4-2. I think you go 4-2. That'll be safe because hopefully it's 4-2 against somebody, like you sweep somebody. If you're gonna lose, go 0-2 against Pittsburgh. It sucks, but they're 9-8. Okay, it doesn't kill you that much. Okay, but you go 2-0 against Baltimore, 2-0 against Cincinnati, then you're 10-7, 11-6. You win the tiebreaker, you win the division, and you get in that way. So if you're gonna do it, go 4-2.
All right, Ed. Who is the most likely opponent that we will sweep? We got to sweep someone.
That's a great question. Cincinnati. I'm going to always say Cincinnati because we seem to play better against them than the other teams.
Yeah.
They are our little bitches.
You just got to beat Baltimore once. Just please go 1-1 against Baltimore. Please. Right. It'll really help things out.
I agree.
Yeah. You can't lose. You can't lose to Mayfield. You can't lose to Pittsburgh. Was that game 3? Yeah, it's the third game, a Thursday night game. Can't lose to Baker Mayfield.
Sherry asked for Ed to come up for air. She clearly has not watched Ed before. This is actually.
Oh, yeah. She's not familiar with Ed. He can go way longer. Hey, remember when we sent him through the drive-thru at McDonald's?
We never counted the number of. We never did that. So.
All right, now Eric is asking who will be the team MVP, and we'll start with
Jamal Chubb.
Okay. Nice. Roger.
Man, that's a tough question, man. I think he's gonna be a defensive player. He's gonna be Myles Garrett. I think he's gonna break
Garrett. Wow, you guys
MVP.
You guys really went out there on
the problem with that answer is he was good last year and it didn't really do us good. That's the problem. We need the MVP to be on offense to really change it because especially
I just really think as a leader he's gonna step up and take you know what I mean? I don't know.
I think that's the acceptable answer. The only problem I have is we had that recipe last year with the defense being good and Myles Garrett being so good, and we still were 8-9. So I'm going to need the best player to be a team MVP to be on offense this year because that's what we're going to need to carry. You know what I'm saying? Because it will be Watson when he eventually becomes a. But until then, I'm going to need Chubb or some, or maybe Hunt. Maybe Hunt's the guy. Maybe he turns into like Marshall Faulk catches 50 balls out of the backfield and can rush as well. So
DPJ has a Jerry Rice type here. How about that? Go Blue. Big house football.
catch the ball first. Just catch the ball.
He catches the football. You're talking about the track star.
You guys really
Right.
went on a stretch there saying our two best players are going to be the MVP. So with that in mind, I am going to make my answer a little more out there. I'm going with Kellen Mond is going to be our team MVP this season. So there you go.
That's really one of my answers. Good one.
He's the next Tom Brady. Is that what you're saying? He comes in and goes like Tom Brady?
Yes. He's going to come in. And,
Okay.
Would it be something if Dobbs takes over like week 3 and like just runs a table and he's just like crazy like Michael Vick good?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Derek Anderson go off in 07 out of nowhere. Came in after Charlie Price sucked.
Maybe he could have a Peyton Hillis type year where everybody.
Why
like,
not?
Peyton
Why not? But
Hillis,
the problem
like,
is it's not sustainable.
Right.
That's the thing. We get these flash in the pans, like, but we need sustainability
Oh.
at that position. And I mean, maybe, but I don't
Dobbs just comes in and
Dobbs,
that's
man.
our love
Dobbs.
for the third string quarterback in Cleveland.
Love him.
Good to be a Browns fan.
It's going to be Kellen Mond. He's going to be the team MVP. So you got to calm down over there.
Well,
And
I think we
Washington
lost
come in
him.
and he's going to play 6 games and throw 87 touchdowns, but they're clearly not going to give it to him.
He's 7 touchdowns. I'm on board with that.
That's
So
how I
we
feel.
lost
You used to
Tony.
treat me like that, Andy. You used to treat me like that, but you've come around.
What do you mean?
No matter what I did, I felt like I wasn't gonna. You didn't give me credit, but now lately you have, and I appreciate that. And
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's because I love you and I think you're great. And
Right.
I just got to
Andy
keep
was
you in line. So
Yeah.
if I say nice things, then I can make fun of you and you don't get offended. So I'm
that
buttering
has
you
been a
up.
recipe that works. It
Yeah,
has.
so I can pull you down.
Thank you.
Because I mean, today
And-
you were fucking awful. You were the worst today. Like the week off did not do you kind.
You're right. I admit that, but I also say everything about this show was horrible. But you know
Right.
what? Hey,
I
I had
think
fun. I had fun.
I think
And
you
your
need to
show-
be geared up, like to be at your best. You need to
By
be
the way,
like,
Ed brought back the barking, the break Ed
Break Ed
news
breaking news. Yeah.
to a new home to the Barking Browns.
Huge.
It's a great
Huge.
segment. It's one of my favorite segments. And what was your first joke yesterday?
About Anthony Schwartz and him dropping balls.
Why
Was like
don't
dropping
you
cellular
say it
phone
right now?
calls.
Let's give our audience the treat of hearing.
Do you guys want to hear it?
No, just you tell it to us right now. You
Okay, well,
can't
let me-
remember.
okay.
It was the lamest. Sorry, I'm killing the lead
Okay.
here.
The Browns concluded their preseason schedule this past weekend as wide receiver Anthony Schwartz continued to drop passes. Schwartz likely isn't getting any cell phone endorsement deals unless customers like drop calls.
Oh. I'm surprised Jacob didn't mute you after that.
Why don't you run some of these by me before so I can say I think that one's a little dumb.
After tonight's show, Andy, I don't think the audience would feel comfortable with you running anything by anybody, and maybe you're the one that needs oversight.
I stopped running my top 10s by him a long time ago.
Wow.
I just say, Andy, I got a top 10. He's like, okay.
And I'm sorry, that joke was hilarious. You did a fantastic job. Break Ed News. Everyone go check it out on the Barking Browns
It was, man.
Network 2 and 6. You'll have a great time watching it.
Even when you're insincere, it still makes me feel good that you're
I
saying
was
nice things.
completely sincere.
Because he's talking about you.
By the way, are you still doing the Go For It segment?
No, actually, we did that for like 3-4 weeks. I think that naturally faded out because I forgot to do one, and Jacob was never going to remind me. So it kind of worked out. It kind of worked itself out.
Eric says the show is great. It's unfiltered at PC. Yeah, what you mean is it's shitty.
You haven't seen nothing, Eric. You haven't seen shit.
Yeah, this is kind of tame and
Man.
yeah, we're trying to be.
You caught us on a bad night.
This is us trying to be.
This was a good night actually. But anyway, we have fun, and I'm glad you are too, Eric. And you should come on more often. And
Yeah, want to be a guest?
Hey,
Come on,
let's
just
bring
show
Eric
up.
on.
Yeah, you want to show up, Eric? Pull up, Eric. Pull
DM
up.
us. You're on next week, man. We
Hey,
don't have to find
yeah,
a guest.
that's right.
Fuck yeah. Fuck it. Bring Eric on.
oh, Eric says he saw us at the picnic, the
Okay.
great
All right.
tailgate. What was that?
The Top Dog tailgate on May 14th.
Tailgate.
May 14th.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah. Hey, I remember now. It's hard on Twitter.
now
I don't
you
look
just
at the
now he
ads.
just remembers. Now he just
No,
remembers.
I just don't look at the ads or the.
Oh, so this is this the Eric guy, the head guy? Is this the guy we already had on? Isn't this the guy that runs the stupid thing? I mean, not. I mean, I don't mean stupid, but you know what I'm saying. The event, the great event.
Hey, tell
You
us
know, right,
glad you're
Eric?
back.
Right?
Great job.
Oh wow.
I think we figured it out.
I didn't realize that was your name. So sorry about that.
And I didn't mean so. I like that is a great event. I can't wait to come back to any other event. So feel free to plug your stuff on the Dawg Chug. We love you and we love what you're doing for the city.
We could, you know what? That's the thing. We make fun of everybody, and that's what
we do. People call us so stupid, and I'm one of them.
And that's our way of complimenting you. Because if we don't make fun of something or talk about it, then we didn't see it, and it don't matter.
That's true. Drink
and
another
Dawg Chug, we get it out there, Ed.
Yeah. Like Roger, like you got a stupid hat on, and you know, I say it with nothing but love, you know.
I know
Yeah.
it.
I still, you know what? I still think that you know what? We didn't lose that game last year. There must have been some forces because it's just like the Cleveland Browns against the Panthers. I can't imagine a world where we lose to Baker Mayfield. And it kind of felt that way last year in Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
and I hope this year can't.
I feel like I'm standing in like Doc Brown's garage, and he's like doing that skew thing, and that's like the alternate universe where the Browns lose to Baker Mayfield. There's like a tangent that skews in time. I can't even imagine what it'd be like.
That would be heavy. That would be heavy. But like Doc Brown said to Marty, he's like, "Is there something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull in 1985?"
Kevin Stefanski had to be like 1,000,000,000% sure that Baker Mayfield wasn't going to beat him. To be like, okay, go ahead, Andrew, trade him to Carolina instead of, you know what I mean? It's like,
that's why I said this to yesterday on Barking Browns. I know it's recycled, but I know Bounty Gates looked frowned upon and Greg Williams and stuff like that. But after Baker Mayfield's comment, don't you think Myles Garrett and stuff and JJ3 and all them? I'm not saying they got bounties and stuff out for them, but I'm sure they're like, man, how many sacks you getting, bro? How many sacks you getting? Because I would be.
You know what? You got guys on this roster that practice against Baker Mayfield for 4, 3, 2, and a full season. That know everything about him. The coaching staff should know everything about him, and Joe Woods better know everything fucking about him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And take away what he can do because he can do stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like he's not a bum.
No, he's not.
You got to take away what he can do, and you can beat him because you can frustrate him and get him off it, and that's what they got to do. And I swear to God, if Joe Wood fired Joe Woods. If Baker Mayfield beats Cleveland.
Well, that's the thing
because
about the
we
defense,
should.
bro.
You know what? Because at every level of the defense, we're more talented than Baker Mayfield.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know what I mean. At every level of the defense, we're more talented than Baker Mayfield is. And there's a player on the Cleveland Browns that's more talented than Baker Mayfield on every level of that defense. It's just scheming. They got to scheme right, and they should beat them. We have a better football team. We have a better roster. He could be in for a long day if that offensive line doesn't hold up. So, are we still live?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah. Roger, this is good time. Like Eric's got a question. Top 5 QB balls.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Why?
that's a.
Okay, so
we lost Tony.
What's your other question, Roger? What's your other question?
Pardon?
What's your other question that you were thinking about asking? Come on, let's go.
No, I said, can I ask another question? Why are we still live? I was joking.
Very fun. Yeah, I don't know why we're still live. I think it's
because I forgot.
Wanted to say something, so I think we'll end the show after this. Oh my God, Ross, please, drive safe when you're coming back to Cleveland because we got to make sure that we have you next week and this never happens again. On the show. Here we go.
I thought Ed's joke was hilarious, although I have to listen to Andy and Heather every night talk about their stupid, awful lives, so what the fuck do I know? Eric, come adopt me by rescuing me from the hospital. I'll help plan the next tailgate in exchange for my freedom.
Oh boy.
I hope that kid's born during Dawg Chug.
What's that?
I hope he's born during an episode of Dawg Chug.
All right. Yeah. Let's hope that happens. Then I won't be here and it'll
We'll
be
go live.
Okay. Well, anyway, thanks Tony for coming on for a little bit of time. We'll have to get you back on soon because I know you had a lot of great things to say. Ed, thanks for being a little bit better than last week when you weren't here. Roger, you and I both have some work to do. We're going to get better. I promise next week will be better than this week.
Oh, we were great. We were great like always, Andy. It's great to talk to Browns fans. I hope we made somebody laugh tonight. It was a great show.
All right. Drink them if you got them. Here we go.